Today we're going to be taking a look at this Kicker component speaker system. I have not one but two sets laid out in front of you for a good reason. I want to show you some options because some people don't know that they might actually even have one. For Kicker, since they offer these two different options, I want to make sure that I'm clear and show you the difference between one and the other and why one might be particularly better for one person rather than better for another. So to your left, this one here is the typical DS6.2, which is a two-way component speaker system. Round speakers as usually found in most scenarios. To your right, we have the DS68.2. The 68 stands for 6x8. These ones here are made specifically for Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, because they all have this size speaker. It's a Ford thing. It's been proprietary in Ford vehicles for eons. So if you do have the ability to use a speaker that size, instead of getting an adapter and putting this in there and creating a wood template to fill the hole for the 6x8 or 5x7, whichever the case, you would actually have less sound and you would benefit less than going with this one here, which would give you the full size, because in my opinion, big sound does not come out of small speakers. If you have the ability to put a 7-inch mid-range, you damn well should put that 7-inch mid-range. That's always been my philosophy, and that's what I've always preached. For most scenarios, 6.5-inch is where the doctor ordered, but you can also get these in smaller sizes, such as 5 1/4, 4 inches, etc. But for the mainstay, most people are going to go with this size, so this is the one I chose to use for my review. This one here is a 6.5-inch system. Basically, this is what is comprised on one door. You have one grill, which in most scenarios you're not going to use unless you're doing this in a custom application or a custom kick panel or a door or whatever. You're going to have your mid-bass driver, which you can see has a polypropylene cone, rubber surround, which is ribbed for high excursion. It has a nice heavy magnet structure, especially for such a shallow type of woofer. Kicker did a nice job on these, and again, these are the entry level, so these are not going to be the Pro Series because they have stuff which will go over and above and beyond this will. Mid bass, it's great for what the job is calling for. For your tweeter, you have a pure titanium 3/4-inch tweeter, pre-wired with quick terminations, which will mate to the passive crossover network, which will get mounted in the door typically. And you can see really quick, you can go do an angled mount, you could do a surface mount and bring it out. You could do a flush mount, so that way this is all you'd see on the door panel or wherever it's going to be, flush mount. Or you could do an angled mount. All the hardware is located right there in the box for whatever you need it to be. Couple of zip ties and some butt connectors for your use, because on here you're going to need to butt connect the audio input. Over here, for your mid-bass, they have terminations for your mid-bass driver as well as your tweeter. Very nice and small size for the crossover, by the way. Two mounting holes on either side. To the left, you can see that there's a switch which will allow you to attenuate the tweeter output. So you can leave it at 0 for flat, plus 3 decibels, or 6 if you really want it to be super bright. And if you're going to have a tweeter like that, that thing can really put out some nasty high frequencies, and I love that stuff, especially in aluminum. I mean, I prefer silk myself, but that's my own personal preference. Everybody has their own, but the crowd-pleasing consensus is that most people like really bright highs. Titanium is what's going to give you that kind of sound, and this certainly will deliver for that. So there's your 6.5-inch set, your 6x8 set. Some other things that I want to go over on this unit is the RMS ratings. For your 6.5s, they're rated at 60 watts RMS, and on your 6x8s, they're 45. They're a little bit lower just because of the oblong, aspects of the speaker size. And again, Kicker is very honest with their RMS ratings, which I love and I can respect, because it drives me crazy if you watch my other reviews of how crazy I can really get when it comes to deceiving numbers and RMS specifications, because people have a tendency to believe that stuff. So more or less middle of the road, great set of speakers. These things, you put them in, they're going to last for years. I know anybody who's going to get these is going to enjoy them. The titanium dome tweeters is a great thing. The cones structure is nice and rigid on the mid-ranges, very easy and flexible for the installation. I think it's a great little product. The warranty is great, and Kicker is known for quality. So if this is something that you're looking for, I'd like you to invest some moments and go onto Kicker's website and look at this and all their other products, especially for their rear fill. Maybe you might be interested in coaxes or some sub or an amplifier to fill out the whole system and make it comprehensive. But for now, that's my look at the Kicker DS component speaker systems.